Hi, I'm Don, your AppBuzzinga trainer. We've been getting questions from our people about some of the settings and some of the tools that are used inside of Eclipse. While we can't answer all of them in this one short video, we'll try to answer the key ones that seem to be recurring for the most number of people. First is the location of the Android tools. Android tools are used to fix various project properties issues. Another issue occurs when you try to run your project or your app and you get a message saying that the compiler compliance level is not correct. Another issue occurs when the Android run configurations aren't set to the proper setting. We'll show you how to pick the correct one. In order to view your app while working on it, you need to have the correct Android virtual device setting. This shows you how to pick and set an Android virtual device. Another point of confusion occurs when you go to compile your app. In Eclipse, what that actually means is to export your app and requires a number of settings. We go through the settings and how to compile and sign your app for export in a different video. Now let's start Eclipse and go take a look at the places where we can resolve the issues I just mentioned. As I typically do, I'm going to use the regular workspace, click OK, and go into Eclipse. I already have a project loaded. In order to find the Android tools, right-click on that project root. Go down to the bottom where it says Android Tools, and you'll find Fix Project Properties. That you want to click on, as we've just done here. Now we'll go back and start our project again. I've started my project in Project Explorer again, but as you can see in the console box down to the right, it says that it found compiler 1.7 and needs to be at level 5 or 6. Go back to the BT activity root, right-click on it, go down to the Android Tools again, and we're going to go over and click on Fix Project Properties. This will take a couple of seconds to run, and then we'll need to go back up to the top and run our app again. And as soon as we do that, you can see that the error message goes away because the Android tools have fixed the problem. Now let's set our run configuration using the little down arrow and clicking on Run Configuration. You might think you want to pick something from the left-hand panel, but actually you're looking for the target. What you want to do is to set an Android virtual device target to match what you're developing your app for and what your virtual device is set for. In our case, it's the Nexus S. Click on that, click on Run, and we're now set. As you can see from the activity down in the console, it's already started running and has brought the current activity to the front because we already had an active Android virtual device that matches our target. Now that we've taken care of a number of the issues, when we click on Run, we'll see a number of new messages appearing down here in the console. The console is what tells you what's going on and will show you where there are errors. In addition, there's a tab called Log Cat. Now, we'll go into the details of Log Cat in a different video. Now let's take a look at adding or creating a new virtual device. I already have several virtual devices set up, as you can see here. Where we want to go is to the Device Definitions tab. In the Device Definitions tab, you'll see that we have a number of choices already set up and available for use. In my case, I used the Nexus S and the Nexus 1 because they most closely match the Android device that I actually have. That allows me to check my work with a virtual device and then load the app to my actual Android and check it there. Let's take a look at some of the details for creating a new device. We could give it a name, screen size, resolution, pick whether it has a keyboard or not, and a number of different choices. We're not going to create a new one here. It would take far too long. We could also clone an existing one that's very similar to a device that we already have. If we do that, we can give it a new name, change the settings, as you can see here, so that we have keyboards, nav, trackball, any of a number of different device settings. I'm not going to clone one here, so let's cancel. And we'll go back out to our Android Virtual Devices tab, where I already have one set up. I clicked on it, and now I'm going to edit it to show you what can be done even after it has been set up. As you can see, we can make changes to a number of the settings that were present when we were first creating the virtual device. Many of the AVDs have SD card settings. I suggest that you enter a 16 megabyte or maybe a 9 megabyte size there to make sure that there's something present. Let's click on it, click on Start and Launch, and we'll see it begin to open up our AVD. Now, since we have it running properly, let's compile our app. In Eclipse, compile is a little bit misleading because what that actually means is we're going to select the term export in order to export our app to the Android marketplace as an app. We select the Android tab and click on it again to open it up so that we get Export Android Application as our choice. Click on Next. Now we have to browse to find our activity root. Now that is the project we're going to export. By default, the debugging attribute is set to true. That means that we can export our app, but in debugging mode only. We'll go into how to set our own key and signature in a different video. Thanks.